let's talk about a potential solution to a problem
Ooh.
here. Now, let me be very clear. Not a replacement, but there's a wide receiver that became available today to play. It was cleared for football activities. I think the Giants should take a look at.
OBJ.
No, it's not OBJ. God damn it. No more. Traylon Burks. Now, listen, again, he's not amazing. Like, I'm not trying to sit there and say, oh, here's the next Neighbors. Like, the next Neighbors is not sitting there in October. Like,
no, he's probably locked in with a fat contract somewhere.
yeah. So, I mean, in the last 3 seasons in Tennessee, he had 27 games in total, 17 starts, 53 catches, 699 yards, and a touchdown. Not great. But let's also understand the fact that he was playing in Tennessee. Not that the Giants really have much room to talk, but it's not like Tennessee was a prolific offense and he had the best coaching, the best system, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say otherwise. Let's also not forget that there's all kinds of turmoil going on in Tennessee. Again, he's very familiar. He's going to feel right at home if he comes here. But I'm just saying, like, this is the guy who at least can do something on the field. I don't, like I said, I'm not saying anything crazy what he can do. But let me ask you this. Who do you think does better on the field right now? Traylon Burks or Jalen Hyatt? What do you think,
Burks.
Rob? Traylon Burks or Bo Collins? Who do you think?
Ugh. Traylon Burks. Come on. You gave me a bunch of goose eggs.
Traylon Burks or Gunnar Olszewski on offense?
Olszewski had a really good one preseason game.
Yeah. I'm just saying, this is why I'm saying this, guys. Like, we have a wasteful. We're going to get into a little bit of this here in a minute here, but we have spots that are absolutely wasted. You know?
I see that weren't used.
And here's a guy that we can get without giving anything up. You know? And that's a big thing I think that we need to look at as Giants fans is that we can go ahead and get this guy and not give up a damn thing. And it's not going to be expensive. Now, I will play devil's advocate. If I'm Traylon Burks, I want nothing to do with the Giants. I want to go to a team that has a good offensive system where I can be like a third receiver. Like San Francisco, Minnesota, hell, maybe even Indy.
Listen, Patriots,
it's a better spot. There's pretty much a lot of spots here that you could say are a better spot than the Giants. They go probably around 31, maybe 30. But
give or take 30.
Here's the one benefit and the one thing the Giants can give is you can sit there and say to him, look at our roster. You have a chance to contribute right off the bat. You have a chance to be one of the 3 starting wide receivers right off the bat. Who else can give you that? And that, to me, would be something that if I'm Traylon Burks, I look at it, okay, I'm trying to build my value back up. There's a good option to build my value. But again, in the back of my head, I'm also sitting there saying it's the Giants. Do I really trust they're going to help my career? Or am I better off going somewhere else and having a small role and at least looking like a part of a competent offense? Like, you could play both sides of that coin.
Yeah.
You know.
You could also say, hey, like, even he may not have the stats on the yards, but if you look at the footage and see him open run routes properly, he may get more of that on film than you would as a third or fourth receiver somewhere else.
Okay. I got to do this. I love doing the math, okay? The trio, Jalen Hyatt, Bo Collins, Gunnar Olszewski, have totaled 1 catch for 7 yards in the season now, okay? In 5 games. So let's do the math on that. That would put you at a total of, 70 yards in 5 games. It's 1.4 yards per game in that trio. Do we not think that's easy to beat out? That's my whole point I'm making here. Traylon Burks literally average about 26 yards a game. Again, not great, guys. I'm not trying to throw that in there as if he's great. But I don't see how this kid's not an upgrade. and you can get him for free.
You can get a lot of players for next to nothing. That would be a big upgrade.
Yeah. Like I said, it's an option I think we should definitely look at. That's for damn sure. Let's see here. Jay says Drew dumpster diving. Yeah, listen, sometimes you got to find a bargain. It is what it is. Jay says, isn't that the guy they thought would replace AJ Brown? Cringe. Yeah. But again, do you trust? And again, this is not me saying the Giants are great at this, but do you trust that the Titans were good at getting the best out of an offensive weapon? You tell me it's not even worth bringing in for a look when you got 3 receivers in your roster, only 1 catch, 7 yards.
Yeah, and
or even all 3. Even Purr would be pathetic.
Cam Williams seems to be struggling.
Yeah.
Right now. So, yeah.
Anthony said, I'd like to see Mike Pacheco as our OC next year if he gets fired from Miami. I wouldn't mind that if depending on what we do at the head coaching level. Like, I think if you get a guy like we talked about Jesse, the defensive coordinator over in LA, the Chargers, maybe that's the guy you get and say, hey, you control the offense. I'll be the CEO and control the defense. We got this. Not a bad pairing there. I don't know if they know each other at all besides just NFL circles in general, but I'm just saying. Jason, I like Potato a lot. I think their GM is the problem. I honestly think Mike McDaniel is not a head coach. He's a coordinator.
Yeah, he's
the man. But the way he conducts himself, the way he presents himself, I just can't take him serious. I really can't. Like, tell me this guy is in a coaches meeting, and he's getting you fired up.
Listen, it worked for him his 1 year, but then again, Dale fired up the 1 year.
Yeah.
And had us all fired up.
Hey, 1 year is not difficult, right?
Yeah, I guess not.
Jason, Sterling Shepard is better than what we got. Correct, but we'd have to trade for him. That's the problem. So, Deb says, I think Humphrey it would be better than Hyatt. 100%. I would move up Humphrey in a freaking heartbeat. The fact that didn't last week is a goddamn travesty. Anthony says, I don't think Shepard is better than a Robinson. No, I don't think he's better than a Robinson, but I think he's better than the 3 we talked about. Hyatt is such a waste, Jay says. Yep. And Jay says, for 1 game, I would take Shepard. At least he catches the ball. Yeah, but you also might just get 1 game out of him. And the way he played with the Giants, he's been healthy since he left us, but oh my gosh.
Well, the thing is, like, yeah, since he left us, like, what did he put up? 24 yards this past week?
Yeah, I mean, that's what he does consistently.
Yeah. That's someone you don't want as your number 1, 24 yards. But then again, it's also a lot better than 1.5 yards.
Yeah, he's their 4th receiver right now. Now,
yeah, which means he's got the 3rd, 4th.
Mike Evans is out. He kind of bumped up to number 3 because Mike Evans is out. And they had injuries before as well because they had the injuries to Godwin to start the season as well. But he's got just under 200 yards already in 5 games. So he's still averaging. He's going to average about 650 for the year if he continue this way. Take that in a heartbeat. Let's see here. Next comment we got there is Deb says, yeah, from Tennessee to the Giants. What a big step up. No, yeah, like I said, I'm not that's why I'm playing devil's advocate there. I'm not disagreeing with you. But I still would take the pitch. I would give him the pitch of point blank. I'm going to give you the chance to make a huge impact. Those guys, you'll ride the bench.
Yeah.
Life, his legs be more cadaver ligaments than they already do. Oh my god. Anthony says, at this point, let's just bring OBJ in. Who cares? At least he catches the effing ball. It's sad that honestly, I'm kind of on board with it at this point myself. Like desperate times call for desperate measures, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not expecting big things from him either. But imagine if you cut loose, let's say, for example, Jalen Hyatt, and you cut loose Bo Collins, and you bring in OBJ, Traylon Burks, and you call up little Jordan Humphreys. Tell me that depth and get 10 times better in 2 seconds flat.
A lot better, yeah.
A lot better.
Big time.
Yeah. So, and let's see here. And Jason says it would make things interesting for sure. We're desperate. Who cares at this point? Exactly. Got nothing to lose. Deb says I read the turf was replaced in 2023 and in 2024 is now rated as one of the safest and had the lowest injuries. Before that was when it had record-breaking injuries. It's gotten better, that's for sure. But if you talk to most players, they'll tell you point blank they want nothing to do with turf. There are some players who specifically, like, if they look at two places to go in free agency and all, and one has turf, one has grass, the grass is the tiebreaker, and they'll go there.
Yeah, and there's also like different degrees of turf. I don't understand the fullness of it, but like what the Giants have is pretty much more like a tennis court when they first started MetLife, but they switched it over to something a little softer. So this way it's a little. Yeah, it's a softener. No, it's a little softer. It's not as hard. Not playing the concrete.
That's what she said.
Ayo.
My left butt cheek is an upgrade.
Where are you catching it?
And Anthony's in the middle, of course. Anthony said he changed it with synthetic grass, which is turf. I think I don't know if there's that much of a difference. Jason, that Callahan guy is as bad as Dable, but I'll tell you who isn't. Callahan Auto Parts. Because I can get a good look at a T-bone by sticking my head up a bull's ass, but I'd rather take the butcher's word for it. Deb's okay, AC, but it's now rated very good. Bad rep came before replacement. Yeah, but again, it's been this is now a year and like 5 weeks into it, and we didn't have the injuries last year, but we got, the injury, unfortunately, to Malik Nabors brings that topic up again. Like I said, I think most people would tell you that chance is much smaller with an actual grass field, no matter how good the turf is. So Jason conducts himself, carries himself, says the man who hangs out with Rob. Allen Robinson. No, Allen Robinson is done. At this point, I'd rather have the Alan Parsons project. This is just bad. Anthony says, correct, Deb. They had to do that instead of grass because the grass would never recover at both the Jets and Giants games. Or they can just put new grass down for each game. It's not that expensive. Jason's AC, it's because they have shitty concerts there like 10 times a year. Or at least one, I thought you could play every week on a field. I'm confused by that. Anthony says, Jay, most fields don't see contact every week between home and away games. However, with all the Jets at home games, there's no recovery time. Again, go ahead and replace the grass then. It's replaceable. Jay says, but it's like a golf course or soccer field. They do spot repairs on it. Deb says, one take a Nabors injury, blamed it on Dart. If Nabors had not come to back for the ball, he would not have gotten hurt. That's hard to say.
It's also football. Like that's part of the game to come back.
And it's the same as saying that, like, you could sit there and say that the turf and grass thing didn't matter. He would have got hurt either way. You don't know. All you can sit there and say is these things potentially increased it. And Nabors routinely went back for balls and caught them and never got hurt. But you jumped the wrong way on turf. And next thing you know, and I just think that's what happened. It's no one can convince me otherwise, because quite frankly, no one knows for sure. And to me, it's just the most plausible thing. Anthony says, I mean, yes, but no one wants to pay for that amount of repairs, or just get a new one. Jesus, Tim's take was horrendous. Jason, you're not wrong. AC. Deb, I agree, Jay. He's been over the top lately. Anthony says, you're not wrong either. Hold on. They're going back and forth. The jumps down. Hold on. Okay, you guys are going off on your tangents here with Tim. Sean Jackson's good evening, fellas. Is Dable potentially coaching his last games upcoming Thursday Night Football if the Giants play sloppy, undisciplined, and again get destroyed by the Eagles? Listen, I would love to tell you yes. I don't think it's going to happen no matter what.
Yeah, listen, you just put Dart in. It's week 3 of the Dart era. You're not going to fire Daves after that. If you didn't put Dart in and lost against the Chargers and lost against the Saints, and yeah, then his job spot on the line. But Dart's in there, and now he's got a little bit of a cushion to play. But it's also,
It's also who takes over.
There's a part of that, but now you have to go back to consistency, and we have to be consistent. There's a new quarterback in there that
There's
you
a
guys
new-
drafted. Now we have to be consistent with his coaching.
That's the whole problem. Again, that's why we should have fired him last year, get a whole new quarterback, whole new coach, everything, but that's neither here nor there. I think the big issue, and it's what Deb said earlier, like, who would you give the job to for the rest of the season? And again, I do think this was Dable protecting himself point blank.
That's 100% what I said when he put him against the Chargers.
Yeah. But
that's why I agree with it to begin with, but he won a game, and
yeah.
That's pretty darn.
It is what
accurate.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you.